Hola, estudiantes. This video is called Hypothetical If Clauses. This is a combination sentence using two different tenses to express hypothetical if clauses, situations that are hypothetical. If this were to happen, then this would be the result. You form hypothetical if clauses by using the imperfect subjunctive in the part of the sentence that has the if clause and the conditional in the part of the sentence that has the result. You can also reverse the order of the sentence. You can start the sentence with the result, still using the conditional tense, and end it with the if, the imperfect subjunctive. Let's go over how to conjugate the imperfect subjunctive and the conditional, and then I'll give you some example hypothetical if clauses. The imperfect subjunctive, you can look back at your notes from chapter 3, is formed by step 1, put the verb in the preterite eios form. Step 2, subtract the ron. And step 3, add the Lady Gaga endings. Ra, ras, ra, ramo, ran. And don't forget the accent before whatever vowel is before the R in the nosotros. So the imperfect subjunctive of tomar, you would start by putting it in the preterite eios, tomaron, minus the ron, so we have toma, and add the Lady Gaga endings. If your subject was nosotros, it would be tomáramos. Let's do a couple more for practice. How about the verb comer? The preterite eios of comer is comieron. Subtract the ron, we have comie. And let's say we're conjugating for yo, it would be comiera. It's important to go through these steps, especially when we get to irregular verbs such as tener. Remember the preterite eios of some verbs is irregular, like this one. Tuvieron, step 2, tuvie, and step 3, if the subject was tu, it would be tuvieras. That's the imperfect subjunctive tense. And then the conditional tense we also learned in chapter 3, so you can refer to your notes there. This is like saying would verb in English. We form the conditional by starting with the infinitive verb and then adding the conditional tense ending. The endings are ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian, which are the same endings as the imperfect tense, but in the conditional, we don't minus the AR, ER, or IR. We add these on to the infinitive verb. So the difference between the imperfect is you subtract the AR, ER, or IR before adding on the ending. But in the conditional, we keep the infinitive and then we add on the ending. There are some irregular verbs in the conditional. They are the same irregulars as the future, and they're sorted into 3 categories. The category where you minus the E, the category where you minus the EC or the CE, and the category where you minus the E or the I and add a D. So for example, if I wanted to conjugate yo for the verb poner, it would not be ponería, it would be pondría. Same endings, ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, ian, but the stems are different. And with these verbs, you have to memorize them. Now here's how you combine these 2 tenses to make a complete sentence. Si tuvieras más dinero, irías a una universidad privada. If you had more money, you would go to a private university. So tuvieras is the imperfect subjunctive. Please make sure you write down these examples so you have some in your notes. And then irías is the conditional. If you had more money, you would go to a private university. But by using these 2 tenses, I'm implying that you don't have enough money. So it's just a hypothetical if clause. You can also reverse the order of the sentence. You can start with the result. Yo tocaría una canción si supiera tocar trompeta. I would play a song if I knew how to play the trumpet. So in this case, because I started with the result, I used the conditional. And I ended with the if. So in the second part is where I use the imperfect subjunctive. So hypothetically, I would play a song if I knew how to play the trumpet. So the important part when you're forming sentences such as these is wherever you have the if, you use the imperfect subjunctive. It doesn't matter if you start the sentence with the if or if you end the sentence with the if. But it's important that wherever the if is, you use the imperfect subjunctive with it. And then the result will always use the conditional. You can end your sentence with the result, or you can start your sentence with what the result would be. So it doesn't matter the order of the sentence. What matters is that you put the conditional with the result and the imperfect subjunctive with the if. Remember, the word if in Spanish is sí with no accent. Here's your check for understanding. Si tú, blanco, apuntes, blanco mejor. So I'm trying to say, if you were to take notes, you would understand better. So I should have the imperfect subjunctive in the first blank and the conditional in the second blank. Número 2. Ustedes sacar as en todas las clases si hacer un gran esfuerzo. You guys would get A's in all your classes if you made a great effort or a big effort. So here I started with the result. Therefore, I should have the conditional of sacar in the first blank, and I should have the imperfect subjunctive of the verb hacer in the second blank, because that's the if. And beware, hacer in the imperfect subjunctive is a little bit irregular, because if you think about what the preterite ellos is, that's also irregular. So watch out for that. Hasta luego.